to tell you some of the things that I would recommend you getting if you're going to be going into house call service as a nurse practitioner, or if you're going to go as a home health nurse. The first thing you need is a water boot. Yeah, man, you need a water boot. You know those big boot that the surgeons wear? Yeah, man, you need to get one and have it in your car, because some places you'll be going, you're gonna need that. All right. You're also gonna need your Crocs, something that you can always take off before going into your car after coming out of some of these homes, because when you're going to some of these homes, you might step on dog poop, you might be coming out with a ton of hair on your shoes bottom, and you don't want to carry that into your car and introduce it to, if you decide that if you have kids and your kids coming in your car, you don't want to introduce that to, your kids. So definitely get a Crocs that you can easily walk into those homes, get back out, and have a bucket in your car to put down your shoes in. All right, and lock it in there safe. So that way when you get home and on a Sunday, you can always just throw some hot water on it and wash it off, and you're good to go. You drain it and you're good to go for the next week. All right, the other thing that you definitely need are a ton of masks. It depends on you, because I've seen a lot of persons who don't wear any mask in these homes. But for me personally, I find it very, very comfortable when I wear my mask in. Sometimes I have my mask on and it's still uncomfortable because I can still smell the smoke and I can still smell the house and everything else. But definitely you feel a little bit more comfortable when you're going in, because sometimes you kind of put on a little perfume on the mask. Oh, yeah, man, put on a little perfume on the mask to kind of block out some of the scent. And there are different things in, like, the store you can buy to put on your mask to kind of help with the fragrance that you're smelling while you're seeing some of these patients. And remember, some of these patients, they don't have no manners. You understand? They don't have no etiquette. Them just coughing in your face, belching in your face, farting in your face, everything while you're there seeing them without even saying, excuse me, I'm sorry. So definitely, I would say get your mask, because it's going to be very, very good for you. I remember a lot of these patients do smoke, so you don't want to be exposing yourself to these secondhand smoking. Sometimes we go to a patient house and that's when I feel go, I found my way. Yeah, man. Because there's so much haze from the smoking, the place just look very cloudy. So definitely you want to go ahead and get your mask, because you don't want to be inhaling all of that, cigarette smell. The other thing you definitely want to do is get some gloves. I don't go in any patient with house without a glove, because as me say, some of these homes are very unkempt, it's very dirty, and you definitely want to just kind of protect yourself. You don't have running water all the time to go and wash your hand. So definitely go ahead and get your gloves so you can wear in these homes. Have your hand sanitizer. I do have baby wipes, all of them stuff there. I also have those chlorhexidine pads or wipes. Yeah, I have those little wipes. That way I can use it for my, depending on if I'm taking a weight for a patient who has a CHF, if I'm doing an admission, I'll definitely get their weight and my machines and all. I tend to wipe them down after I'm finished with them and then put it in my bag. You definitely want to make sure you get a bag that is waterproof, anything that can wipe down, because sometimes you go in these homes, what happens is that you have to put your stuff down on their bed, on the chair, on a tabletop. Sometimes it's not in the best condition. So definitely those bags, once you finish, you can always put it in your trunk of your car, and when you get home, you can always wipe it off with those chlorhexidine wipe. Yes, it works for me. Definitely it will work for you. The other thing you need to do is always have a smaller bag that you can walk with when you go in some of these homes. So that way when you're going and you see the patients for the first time, you will know what to expect the second time, and you'll know that if you're going in with your blood pressure cuff and your stethoscope and just probably one and two little other items, it is small enough where you can hold it on your side here and be talking to your patient, writing, get your examination information down, and you're good to go. Because as I say, some of these homes are very unkempt. You have cockroaches, you have teenagers, you have bugs, you have a lot of things in some of these homes. I introduce, those insects or anything like that to yourself. So you want to make sure that whatever you're going in, you can easily hold on to your hand here and just stay with you, and you stay one place, do your examination, and you walk very slowly out of that house when you're done. All right. The other thing you definitely want to do is make sure you have a pen light, or you can always use a flashlight, but I always try to have my pen light and a little flashlight, because some places I go, the home sometimes might not have enough, the electricity in that room that the patient is in is not working. The room is just dark, because sometimes they have boards at the window. So there are different things. Definitely walk with your little flashlight, because sometimes you need to find out, you need to see the patient. When they roll over, you need to look at their bum. You understand? So definitely I would encourage you to do that. And why I say get your flashlight is because it will be in your bag, and you don't want to be a case where when you have on your gloves and you probably touch something, you go and touch your phone, then you put it in your face. So just do that. When you finish, you just wipe down everything, and then you're good to go, and then you can go touch your phone. Definitely have a little booklet or a little notepad, because you want to go ahead and write down, the patient's name that you see, have them signed, so that way you can have it for your reference in the event that something do happens later on and people are trying to find out whether or not you really saw the patient. Because as me say, in healthcare here, it's all about money, and everybody will do things just to make sure that they're making the most. And you want to make sure that even though you're not full-time with those companies, you're independent, you want to keep a track of your record of all the patients that you do see. So go ahead and have a notepad or a book and have those patients sign their name whenever you see them on the date, so you can have your personal log with the patients that you do see. You're also gonna have your regular, items that you normally bring with you to work, like your pen, your stethoscope, blood pressure machine, pulse oximeter, and it depends on you the kind of assessment you're gonna go there and do. If you want to do a very thorough examination, then you bring all the things that you definitely need. If you're just the kind of person who is kind of laid back and very simple, then you probably just walk with simple things. But definitely go ahead and bring as much as you possibly can, because these things that I do provide you with are things that I walk with every single day, except the water boot, because I am wearing Crocs. I wear Crocs all the time with my patients. I was wearing sneakers at one point when I just started, and then I stepped on the dog poop, and I said, "No, sir, I don't have time for this year. I don't have time for this year." You understand? Because I'm gonna have to wash that, you understand? And that not going in my washing machine. So I just go ahead and say, all right, then I'm just gonna go be wearing Crocs all the time, because it's just gonna be easier, and I'm not gonna make the mistake of wearing my sneakers in these patients' home. That's it. Another thing that I would encourage you to do is make sure you always wear your white coat, your jacket. Even though some days I may not wear my jacket because it might be hot, definitely me have it in my car and it is there. It's so hot outside and I feel as though I don't want to put on my jacket. I do definitely put it on, because as I say, a lot of times you go in these homes and the odor is just a little bit different than usual, and so I find that those jackets kind of take off some of the scent off of my clothes. This clothes here with the perfume, yeah man. So when I come out, I can still smell good, because I tell you sometimes I go in the house and you think me smoke. You understand? I remember going in a patient's home and the patient tell me say, I must come back to them house if I go smoke before me come there. And I'm like, ma'am, I don't smoke. I don't smoke up and make them. Me no smoke. Me no vape. You understand? The smell that the scent that you're smelling is because the patient may just come from 15 minutes ago. You understand? And that's how bad it is sometimes. You go there and you absorb everything and you walk with it to see your other patients. So this is what I do to kind of prevent that kind of embarrassment and make sure something smell good for the rest of the day. Because remember, you're gonna sit in your car. What I do is the patients that I know definitely are smokers, or when I go there before their home is very unkempt, I get them to the end of the day. I'm not going to go and see any patient at the beginning of the day and mess up my day, mess up my nose, mess up my clothes, just mess up my whole overall feeling for the rest of the day. Because sometimes I tell you, say, sometimes I smell myself in the car. Like if I'm going to the house, I'm going to put on a jacket, is that I can smell myself. I can smell the patient's home still lingering on me. So me don't make the mistake. I don't make the mistake of not going in with my white coat. You understand? Because that white coat, it serves a purpose. When I take it off and open like this and wrap it around and lock it in and fold it up and put it down in my car. So that way, touch on my seat and everything. Most of the things in my car is on the ground. You understand? My bag is on the ground. It don't go on my seat. And that's the one that I bring into the patient's home. Because as I say, I don't really want to introduce anything from the patient's yard into my car and into my house. But definitely, if I'm missing anything, go ahead and leave it. I think somebody told me about shoe covering. I wasn't even thinking about that, but that's just going to cost me more money. I'm going to really have time for you to spend so much money on, all of those. I spend enough on the mask and I spend enough on my gloves. I think for now, the Crocs that I wear, the plastic or the rubber Crocs, it does work well. And as I say, I just need to wash it like at the end of the week. I just throw some water, it melts off whatever is on it, and I just throw that out and let it dry. Are we good to go? All right, but go ahead and tell me what you think. If you have any other suggestions, feel free to go ahead and leave them. And remember, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. I really do appreciate you taking the time out to watch my videos. Yeah, I do appreciate that. So continue to be a part of the channel and follow me on YouTube at Think Nursing, where I share additional long-form contents. I'll be having my podcast and a bag of things over there. Just go over there and check out my channel. All right, until then, I'll see you in the next